Well, I guess I should probably get back to work on these old hatches today. Let's see, I think this one I have to keep chipping away at the caulk, holding the glass in. And then on those other ones, I gotta do some sanding and stuff. Should be a good time, I'm sure. I figured I'd take a minute. I want to make a spot on this dinghy to throw all my tarps onto. And this dinghy's got a little leak going on, so figured maybe I'll get down in here. I heard you can just take a heat gun, and I had a tear here, and I put a patch over it last year. And I heard that if the patches fail, if the glue fails, you can just hit it with a heat gun, and it'll kind of rejuvenate the glue, and maybe even melt it together. I don't know. So I'm gonna give that a shot quick. Not really having any luck with the heat gun technique. I think maybe there's just not enough glue on there to work with. And there's a little water down here. You can actually see where the leak is. I don't know if I'm going to work on this right now or not. But what I'll have to do is get dry in here. And that patch is actually holding together a pretty big tear. So I might be best off putting a larger patch over the top of it. Even though that's not always the best practice. But we'll see. Decisions. Looks like I can peel this back most of the way around, but the middle of the patch is still stuck on there pretty good. So I'm just going to kind of peel it back and then smear a bunch of glue in there. You're supposed to let it tack up a bit before you bring the pieces together. Don't know how well I'll be able to do that, but I'm going to get some glue in there and then push it back together, and then maybe try the old heat gun technique afterwards to redistribute the glue in there. And then get on with those hatches. Well, I got as much glue as I could under there. It's not easy. Really tight quarters to be working in under there. And hit it with the heat gun and smeared it out a bit. It's still leaking though. You can always just tell by the sound. Easiest way to find a little pinhole and otherwise leaks on these things. I think my best bet, without taking this thing apart, will be to put another big patch over the whole thing. So I always like to sand it first with maybe some 100 grit or even rougher to get all nice and coarse, and then I'll bust out my glue and guess I'll see how that goes. Not sure if I'm going to do that. I think I'll probably let this ride for a bit. I think I stifled the flow of air. It'll probably stay inflated for a while. So when I have a chance, I'll throw another patch on there. Maybe later today, who knows. I've decided I am going to go ahead and patch this thing. Here's the glue I'm using, by the way. It's Hapalon glue, because this is Hapalon fabric, and you can either have PVC or Hapalon for the fabric type on these inflatables, and maybe there's others by now too, I don't know. But those are the two that I'm familiar with, and I think the most common. You know, I've sanded this patch, and you know, I cut this out of some fabric which I got at West Marine along with the glue, and it's nice to round off the corners. I've found it makes it so that they don't peel off. The patches won't peel off quite as easy. I think I read that somewhere too. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and smear glue on this part, and then also over my patch. And you can see I've jammed a brush and a life preserver in here to give you a little bit more room. So I put one coat of glue on each, and then you let it dry for like 20 minutes, half hour, and then you put one more coat on, and then you bring the surfaces together like 5 minutes later. So I think I'm gonna get my first coat on here. I'm gonna use this little brush that I found, and then I'll probably go grab some lunch. The Berlinder has been one of my spots lately. Really good. Good deal after 3 o'clock. So that's like $5 after 3 o'clock. Pretty good deal. Returning to these patches, it's probably been a good 45 minutes, I would say, maybe a little longer, and this is totally pretty much tack free by now, and it seems almost, I can't hear the leak at all, and this thing's still pretty tight. So I think I've helped the leak already just by putting some glue in there, but now I'm going to put one more thin coat on each of these, wait about 5 minutes, and then bring them back together. And that first brush came apart on me. I'm going to try one of these little Harbor Freight brushes instead. You get like, I don't know, 50 of them for like $10. I got my patch on here. I think it turned out pretty well. Usually you can see an air bubble start to form if you got a big leak, or you know, if you didn't get good adhesion between the patch and the tube. But this time it looks like it's staying on there pretty well. I'll probably throw a little bit more air into the dinghy, tighten it up a little bit. So you're supposed to really put as much pressure as you can on there to really make it adhere real well. I think it turned out well, so I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll actually be doing some sanding on that wood here in a few minutes, who knows. Still hear a slight leak in here, and so this is after I inflated the tubes really tight. And so I jammed a back of my paintbrush back in there to keep some tension on that patch while it dries. And I guess we'll see how that works. I also jammed a wet rag down there just to have some real tension against it, something for it to push on while that glue's drying. And then maybe I'll go over it with the heat gun a bit if it's still leaking. but I can't really hear it leaking now, so that's a good sign. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm gonna chip at this hatch for a while, I think. Focus on getting some of the stuff between the glass and the wood and that seam, and yeah, I want to get these pieces of glass out of here and then really do some sanding. Some problems with this glass. It looks like almost it's I don't know, delaminating, what they say, or I'm not really sure, or maybe it's been coated with something and the coating's peeling off. That's kind of frustrating. I'm not sure what I'll do about that. I guess it'd be best to replace the glass, but I don't think I have money for that right now. But, you can see it pretty bad down here. That's visible on the camera. It's almost like little sheets were coming off. Or, I don't know, really thin sheets of some type. I'll have to look online and see what that's all about. It must just be something with the old glass, or I don't know. Anyway, at least I got a piece of glass out of here. It's progress. I got this piece of glass out of here. They both look decent enough to use again, I think. I bet the trim covers, or, well, you know, this part where the glass rests on the wood, hopefully that covers a lot of that little bit of damage around the corners, around the edges. So I'm moving on to this side now. This is moving along pretty good. This hook tool works great. It's really helped me get down those seams and just pull just long beads of this stuff right out of there. I think I'm going to start trying to get this glass out of here next. There's a view I don't see all the time so clearly. I gotta put some plastic bags up, I guess, to catch all the dust I'm about to be making when I do all my sanding on this thing. Quick stop at the C Monsta. Well, who knows if I'll be working on that boat anymore today. I think this is kind of like some kind of trap. Bring me out to the C Monsta. This art was kind of cool. I think I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.